What's up, everybody? Welcome back. So yes, as the title implies, how is Google Fi service if you were to put it in an iPhone, right? Most people tend to, use like an unlocked Android device, or they tend to go with the Google Pixels and use Fi on a Pixel device. Um, Now we do know that you can activate Fi on an iPhone. Right now, I have it activated on my iPhone 10s, and I've been using the service on there. And let me just put it to you like this in a nutshell when it comes to Google Fi. If you're wondering how it's going to function on an iPhone, it's going to function as normal. If you think about it, ever since the merger with Sprint and T-Mobile, really the only providers that Google Fi connects to happens to be T-Mobile and US Cellular. See, in the very early days when it was known as Project Fi, because it was still in project status, it utilized Sprint and T-Mobile only. It wasn't until a little bit later on that they added a third carrier support, which was US Cellular, basically allowing Fi to be on 3 networks. Now, of course, with the merger, Sprint and T-Mobile became one as the new T-Mobile, and so you're just on 2 carriers. But while some people will say, the reduction of Sprint being gone is like, oh my gosh, so now we're only dependent on T-Mobile. Not necessarily, because again, Sprint and T-Mobile has merged together. It's as they've merged together, pretty much their networks are combined. So you're still getting the same coverage whether you had, Sprint, T-Mobile, US Cellular to just T-Mobile and US Cellular, but you're still getting the same. As long as the Sprint tower that's in your town has not been decommissioned, you're still getting the same connection. But technically, you're on T-Mobile. Yes, iPhones don't have that support that the Pixel devices do. The Pixel devices can smart switch between US Cellular and T-Mobile, and there's apps you can actually force push that too. With the iPhone, it's only reliant on T-Mobile. So even if you're in an area where T-Mobile is weak and US Cellular is stronger, it's not going to switch over and use US Cellular. It's going to stay on the T-Mobile network. So that's the only downside. But that also plagues other Android devices that are unlocked. So, LG devices, Motorola devices, HTC devices. If you were to put a Google Fi SIM card in those and use it on Fi, you would only be able to connect to the T-Mobile network. So T-Mobile is the dominant carrier that's being used by Google Fi. And then you have US Cellular that fills the gaps in between, especially in the Midwestern states, out to like Northern California. US Cellular has service throughout that area. So US Cellular, not being a giant carrier, but they are in fact a carrier, large size portion. To be honest, okay, so yeah, data speeds is fine, right? It's T-Mobile. So if T-Mobile works great in your area, T-Mobile will be fine for you. So then Google Fi will be fine for you. Of course, this is the iPhone 10s, so it's using LTE. It's not using 5G connection or anything like that. However, if I was to put the Fi SIM in my Pixel 5, I would connect to 5G from T-Mobile, which is their low band, utilizing NR bands with, because it's non-standalone, so NR bands with band 66 in my city. I've not really seen an area that has band 71, there's a couple of areas that's had band 41, but yeah, that's it's still being built out here in my city. But on the LTE side of things, so obviously band 66 is what this one connects to when it's just on the LTE side. And the speed is actually quite fine. I don't do a lot of speed testing on Fi only because, yes, there is a 22 gigabyte cap limitation, and then you're slowed down after the 22 gigs, and you can really reach that doing a lot of speed tests. So far, let me just kind of just look at my data usage. So since I am in a family plan, there's 2 lines on here. The total that both lines have used together is 7.47 gigabytes. Now, the 22 gig cap is per line, right? So my second line has its 22 gigs of data, and then it's slowed down, and then I have my 22 gigs of data, then I'm slowed down. So far, because I do have home Wi-Fi, that I've only used 0.8, so about like 800 megabytes I've used so far. And I do have, let me see here. 19 days left in my cycle, so I should be fine. I'm fine. My second line, which uses a lot more data, has used 6.67 gigabytes of data, which is totally fine because we're like 19 days left in this current build cycle. So she's not going to go over 22 gigs because when she's at home, she's on Wi-Fi. And also for her line, she has dual SIM. So she has Google Fi as her main SIM, is her main number. And then she has the visible line for data. So she uses the visible data. By the time she switches back to the Fi data is if Verizon and Visible is non-existent or weak. And then she goes back to that. So yeah, we're not really using a whole lot of data. Using the Fi app on an iPhone is a little bit different because voicemails are in the Fi app on iPhone. So yeah, I see that I have 2 voicemails that I haven't listened to. But other than that, I mean, pretty clear cut and dry how to, navigate through the app itself. I don't really need to like go into detail on how to navigate the app. It's pretty much self-explanatory, but I've been a strong person that advocates for Google Fi for the longest time, since I joined them years ago. And, I gotta say that, there's really good service. I have to say that. On top of that, having the ability to call overseas, to international countries has actually been pretty solid. I mean, when you look at the plans that they have right now, especially since recently they've updated their plan, you see that there's 3 plans now. There's flexible, there's simply unlimited, there's unlimited plus, and I have the unlimited plus. That's the plan service that I have. And off to the left, you can see like the perks that you get if you have it, So, yeah, these are the perks that come with current plans that they offer. So, and it talks about switching over and family protect and all that other stuff. So, I mean, just all out general, good service in my opinion. Honestly, good service in my opinion. Now, okay, like I said, it's always going to depend on T-Mobile in your area. And no, I get messages. Excuse me for a moment, but you guys won't have to worry about this because we're just gonna easily edit through. And just like that, we just get to an entire length of time. The power of video editing. But anyways, Fi has just been just a very, very solid service for me. In my opinion, it's been absolutely great. I've enjoyed being with this carrier. I leave it every now and then just based on my, what's going on around me, like what's happening in, my finances and everything like that. But I always find myself going back to them because of a lot of the things that I do get from them. Data is not going to be an issue for me as of right now. Call quality and texting is actually fine on an iPhone. Using iMessage, there's people that have iPhones that I know, so it's like iMessage works, messaging them. And then, but again, when it comes to messaging and everything like that, technically I use Telegram to message, video call, and sometimes even audio call. So Telegram has kind of been that all-in-one, like, what Google Hangouts was supposed to be, which they didn't capitalize on. So yeah, it is what it is on that. But honestly, I would say this, with Google Fi, it's just been solid for me. On an iPhone, I don't see or feel any real difference if I had my Fi service on my Pixel 4 versus my iPhone XS. So you really don't see the smart, like the smart switch with a Pixel device, even if you were in an area where there's like T-Mobile and then US Cellular, and if you were to like to switch. Sorry about that. The antenna connection picked up on the mic. But yeah, you don't feel that. Your phone just works. It just works. It's same with the iPhone, right? So really, there's not like a significant huge difference between using Google Fi on a Pixel, using Google Fi on an iPhone. Anyways, yeah, I'm getting notifications left and right. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow on another video. I'm going to show you guys what apps I use to be productive, like on Instagram, and also to make YouTube videos. So stay tuned for that video tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be a video and not really a live stream. So I'll probably go live on Wednesday, but more than likely Friday. But until then, thanks for peeping out this video, guys. And yeah, see you tomorrow. Peace.